So it's safe to say that in many years Disney has made movies based on historical events. These films aren't exactly reputable sources to look for credible and accurate information. These films are purposely fictitious and are based on events and stories solely for entertainment and are in no way at all meant to be looked at as facts. Hercules, the Disney movie released in 1997, is about the hero Hercules who is marveled for his superhuman strength and aid to royalty, making him a model for all Greek heroes. The title of the movie, as well as the protagonist of the Disney film, is actually Heracles, meaning glory of Hera. From the beginning of the film to the end, there are inaccuracies in accordance to the myth of Heracles as well as the references to Greek myth outside of the journey of Heracles. For clarification, when referring to the Disney movie character, I will refer to him as Hercules, and when referring to the actual Greek myth, I will refer to him as Heracles. Although the movie is loosely based on the myth of Heracles, both their stories and their characters are just that different.
He's making this story sound like some Greek tragedy.
For starters, the movie begins with a musical number from the Muses themselves.
Goddesses of the arts and proclaimers of heroes.
The only error here being is that there are actually 9 muses. In telling the story of the turmoil caused by the Titans that was resolved by Zeus, the Titans were portrayed as such. Giant evil monsters made of Earth's highest extremities. The Titans definitely looked more like the Olympians. Long story short, Zeus ended up putting the Titans in Tartarus. Hera in the movie portrayal is implied to be the proud biological mother of Hercules. However, in the myth, a mortal woman by the name of Alcmene and Zeus, disguised as Alcmene's husband Amphitryon, are Heracles' actual parents, and therefore he was not born on Mount Olympus. In the movie, it's Hades that wishes to end Hercules because of a cautionary tale told to him by the Fates.
Proud Zeus will finally fall, and you, Hades, will rule all!
Yes, sir, Hades will!
A word of caution to this tale.
Excuse me?
Should Hercules fight, you will fail.
Who are actually not completely the Fates, but by the features of the Fates in the movie, I'd say they can closely identify as the Grey 3 old crones with an eternal gray hue amongst them, sharing one eye, and not to mention also shared one tooth to speak. I suppose Grey doesn't quite roll off the tongue as much as the Fates does. The Fates in Greek mythology, or the Moirae, are 3 completely different women that did, however, take on the role of cutting off the literal threads that were the lives of humankind, which was correct in the movie. Pegasus was written by Bellerophon, not Heracles.
Wow, I haven't seen this much love in a room since Narcissus discovered himself.
Hermes references Narcissus on the day Hercules was born. Narcissus should be immortal, however, he was otherworldly obsessed with himself and his reflection. So much so that in his story he turns into a flower that peers over the river Styx, looking at his reflection for all of eternity. Oh, Hades. Funny that Hades is the villain when in the actual myth, Hera is the antagonist. What? Just because someone is tied to the underworld, they're automatically tied to evil?
If only. If only.
Well, apparently so. In Greek mythology, I'd say that basically all the gods' actions and their intentions tend to be both good and evil, some leaning more than others. Hera is actually the one that plotted the demise of Heracles out of pure jealousy. She is the goddess of marriage after all. To be cheated on by her own husband and to have knowledge of his offspring made with another woman walking amongst the earth, I'd imagine she'd be quite enraged. Heracles did actually strangle the snakes sent to him by Hera. Some of the names of the characters in Hercules were correct, but the characters themselves were not. Penelope was the name of Odysseus' wife, but her name was dubbed to a mule. Close, but not quite, is the characterization of the potter Phidias. Phidias, in real life, is an Athenian sculptor. I believe he made the statue similar to the one of Zeus presented in the movie. The statue is called the Statue of Zeus at Olympia. This might be a stretch, but Hades' minions Pain and Panic might be adaptations of Phobos and Deimos, who, respectively, are the entities personified as fear and terror. The only errors being they were the minions of Ares, not Hades, and instead of being characters of comic relief, they were causes of destruction and despair.
Odysseus, Perseus, Theseus, a lot of yusses.
Philoctetes actually isn't a satyr as the movie portrayed him, but was actually a Greek hero himself.
Watch it! That was part of the Mask of the Argo.
The Argo?
Heracles actually went on a mission on the Argo, so he probably wouldn't be so fascinated. Although Hades has made some deals with some hopeless souls, in the myth Megara does not sell her soul to Hades. Disney probably wanted Hades to resemble the devil with the concept of selling your soul to Satan. Hercules makes an effort to defeat the Cyclops and goes for his eye. This is probably in reference to the Odyssey when Odysseus blinds the Cyclops Polyphemus. One of the most important motifs in both the myth and the movie is the immortality of the hero. Heracles was born mortal and then became immortal. Hercules is born immortal and then turns mortal, and then turns immortal and then back to mortal again.
If there's a prize for rotten judgment, I guess I've already won the...
Disney movies famous for their happy endings and implications of happily ever after. The myth doesn't exactly end where it does in the movie. In the play, dramatized by Euripides, not only did Meg win the prize for rotten judgment, but Heracles won Megara as a prize from her father for his services to him. After that, one night, in a spontaneous, overwhelming fit of rage, Heracles kills his wife and his children, which was possibly another attempt of Heracles' demise done by Hera. Either that, or just a side effect of post-traumatic stress disorder after years of experience in war. After this incident, he becomes suicidal until Theseus convinces him to continue living.
Shout it from the mountain top.